All right, welcome to episode 1 of Course Stamps. I'm going to start this episode with a really cool course that I played recently, formerly known as PGA Catalunya, now Camiral Golf and Wellness, in Spain, just north of Barcelona by about an hour. Really cool course. So, a course that's hosted the Spanish Open a few times, bucket list type course, so probably worth going. Let's jump right into the stamp process. First off, first impressions. So my first impressions of the course, I'm pulling up, a little bit of a long cab ride. All I see in the background is mountains, lush green conditions, really cool looking trees, just an overall unique feel and vibe as you're pulling up. I mean, I'm from Florida where it's very flat. The views were just immaculate for me. You pull up and you can just see the mountains kind of around you, but you're not really up in the mountains, which is cool. At first impressions I was just, wow, stunned. It's beautiful. Getting there, getting into the pro shop. Pro shop was huge, had quite a bit of selection. Every major brand, they're branded, gear, Adidas, FootJoy, Under Armour, you name it, they had it. They had just about anything you could ask for in a pro shop. So, first impression, final wrap up. We got the first hole, elevated tee box. I mean, it's probably 70, 80 feet up, down from a fairway, kind of ran a little left and then straightened out. Wasn't like a true dog leg or anything, but the starter, I played the tips at this course. Normally I play 6,400 yards, so this was a little bit farther back for me. But the starter said first tee, 240 minimum drive is good to get you in a decent position, and I probably hit it 250, 260 with the roll. Hit the fairway, luckily, got in play. There's water down on the left, so there was a little trouble early. So if you're not dialed, off the rip, that could be a little problematic. Fortunately, I got to warm up a little bit on the range. Made my first putt, so my first impression was incredible. When you get to start off with a par, making your first putt on the greens, they were a little dewy and wet because it was pretty early, but they still rolled pretty quick and true. First impressions from getting there, pro shop, warming up, etc., to the first tee and down to the first putt, excellent. Overall rating on the first impressions, 5 out of 5 and stamped. Number 2, facilities. So this would be mainly the driving range, putting green, chipping, anything notable about it. So on the driving range, first of all, it was immaculate. They had a covered area with free range balls, which is to be expected at a course of this caliber. Lots of good targets down there. They had a green about 120 yards, so if you wanted to pop some up on the green, it was good. Good practice, good warm-up. You had targets sweeping all the way left and right, different distances, so you could really get dialed in, really kind of get your swing going, direction, shot shape, etc. You could kind of do it all there. Putting green was nice. Didn't really film on the putting green. I don't want to set up a camera for practice putting, but I'd say they rolled pretty true. I mean, I got a good feel for the speed off the practice greens, the breaks, everything. I mean, it played almost exact, really on point. The facilities, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 and an approved. Number 3, how does it play? So most tee boxes were elevated. Some of them pretty high up where you just have this big sweeping landscape that you're hitting down into. Some of them were elevated with huge dips in the middle with, the fairways basically level with you. So visually it was really cool. You could really feel like you could really get after some drives, even though there's trees lined up on the sides pretty thick. Definitely was in there a few times. Tee boxes were really well kept. They were well manicured, just great, good tee boxes. And the tee box layouts were cool, like the tee shots themselves. There was, some challenging ones, a couple dog legs. They were unique. A good layout, a good feel to the course. It was laid out borderline perfect. I mean, with those tee boxes and the layout, the whole layouts and designs were great. You got mountains in the background, really cool trees that you don't have, back home. Overall, just excellent layout, feel, vibe. The only complaint I had was with the greens, like they'd almost indent as you walked. So like you would leave like a little foot indentation, which, almost had to be cautious to not like walk down and step in my own line. You could leave like a little foot indentation in there, and so they're kind of soft almost. So that's probably my only complaint. I mean, they rolled true. If you didn't sabotage yourself and leave a divot in your line, they rolled great. But overall,
Birdie,
I would
baby.
give it a 4.5 out of 5 with the number 4, signature holes. So this is one of those scenarios where out of the 18 holes, there's at least 12 or 13 that, you could say would be signature at almost any other course that you play. The signature hole is number 13. It's a par 4. You're hitting this really elevated tee box down, and what they said in the description was this was Spain's answer to TPC Sawgrass number 17. So it's a par 4, but your approach shot, you have a little peninsula island like green. You can't miss long at all. There's like 2 feet of rough long. There's a little bit of rough and a bunker on the front, but there's not a lot of room at all. I didn't play that hole very well. My second shot, I hit it just a smidge short into the water and had a drop, ended up getting a double. But the views of it was immaculate. I mean, it was gorgeous. Like on the backdrop, you could see the mountains across it. You're looking down and there's just nothing but wide open. You can miss right. You can miss right or left. It just makes it a little harder getting on that green. But overall, that the signature holes, the whole course, that's a 5 out of 5 without a doubt. Approved. Pace of play, I can keep short and sweet. There was almost nobody out there the entire day. I saw like one other group, and outside of that, I didn't have a person out there. Now, with the course difficulty, the trees, the thick, the rough, tee shot, you did have to be very accurate with your tee shots. If you weren't accurate, you would have a tough time. So I imagine if it was a busy day, it would probably not be the best pace because of the difficulty. People, just like any course you've ever been to, when the harder the course is, or the tighter the fairways, the worse, the pace is. I mean, just it is what it is. Pace of play, I'll give a 4.5 out of 5. It was wide open for me. I didn't have any issues, but I'm just looking at the nature of the course. So my whole summary of Camiral Golf and Wellness in Spain is 4.7 out of 5 and approved. Highly recommend if you're in Spain, you want to play a bucket list course, check out Camiral Golf and Wellness.